It's Easter Sunday, or as many Christians call it, Resurrection Sunday. It's an important day on the Christian calendar because it celebrates the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Today, many churches hold special services on Easter Sunday. But while the Christian connection marks Easter weekend as a time for forgiveness and reflection, it's also a period when Jamaicans party, which often means traveling from one location to another. So coming up, the ills of drunk driving, as we encourage you to make those journeys safely. Also on the show, a few days ago, official word came that Jamaica had passed its 7th test under the International Monetary Fund Agreement. We look at the importance of passing these tests. And inside issues, we've got answers on why forgiveness is a necessary path to happiness. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry. It promises to be an informative show. Please stay with us.
Employers, tired of waiting in long lines at the tax office? Wait no further. Government is making it easier for you to pay taxes. As of January 1, 2015, file your employer's annual returns online. No lines, no hassle. Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ will be implementing the mandatory electronic filing of all employers' annual returns. So get with the program and save time and energy. For more information, call 1-888-TAX-HELP. That's 1-888-829-4357 or visit jamaicatax.gov.jm.
Jesus Christ died for our sins, making it possible for forgiveness for all. Whether you are a Christian or not, forgiveness is an attribute every individual can afford to adopt. Up next, we discuss how to forgive and other critical matters of values and attitudes.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. It's a time of the year when people are in a reflective mood, and we have invited to reflect with us the Administrative Bishop of the New Testament Church of God, Reverend Leslie Blair. We thank you for your company. Bishop Blair, so good to have you.
Thank you for having me today.
On this important day in the Christian calendar. Easter is a time when many persons reflect on the sacrifice of Christ, reflect generally on the meaning of life, on forgiveness in particular. What is your particular message to the Jamaican people at this time? What do you take away from this season, and what do you think Jamaicans should take away at this time particularly?
There are so many things we could look at, but let's go to the root of this matter. Why was Easter or Good Friday enacted? And the words of our Lord Jesus Christ are very prominent. When he said to his Father, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." It's a forethought that all who come to him, irrespective of what they have done, can be forgiven. Mm-hmm. And that is what is a priceless commodity for man.
Yeah. And how in our own day-to-day interactions, Bishop, should we incarnate that principle? I mean, how does that work? Many of us are laboring under hurts, intense hurts, mm-hmm. and there is a natural human reaction to be unforgiving. How do we escape the curse of unforgiveness?
Well, you know, I'd like to first borrow the words of Ann Landers. You're not the great Ann Landers. She said, "Hate is like an acid. It damages the vessel in which it's stored and destroys the vessel on which it is poured." Mm-hmm. So a person who does not forgive hurts himself more than the one needs forgiveness. Mm-hmm. Because why you should forgive is because Christ has given you the power to do it. Greater is he that is within you than he that is in the world. And the curse that is placed upon mankind can be reversed and God gives you that power to do it. He gives you dominion over things. And when you reverse that by forgiving somebody, and as I've written, forgiveness is the intentional and voluntary process by which a victim undergoes a change in feelings and attitude regarding an offense. And remember this very word of Jesus Christ: I will forgive you as you forgive those who trespass against us. So forgiveness,
the worrying part.
That is a very serious one. Forgiveness of another is dependent, and my forgiveness from God is dependent on how I forgive you. The same way I forgive you, that's what we're asking God to do. Forgive us as we forgive those.
And this issue, Bishop, is not an ethereal one in our Jamaican context, because if you talk about tribalism and the violence that comes from tribalism and garrison politics, you're talking in many instances about people carrying grievances for generations.
Yes.
For people remembering that, my father was killed by, your uncle over there and that kind of thing. So this is a very relevant message in the Jamaican context.
It is relevant. And one of the things that we should learn is that the one who is hurt most is the one who cannot forgive. No matter what I have done to you, and if I've asked you to forgive me and you can't do it, you are hurting.
Yes.
It is said that the person who offends another has the liberty even more than the offended
person.
Yeah. Because if I refuse to forgive you, I'm like a dog chained and going around in circles until I'm bungled around and can't even move. Don't let anybody lead you on a chain. Forgive them. Irrespective of what has happened, learn the attitude by what Christ has portrayed. Follow him.
Because that liberates you.
Yes.
It takes away this burden of the hurt and the animosity and so on, which is holding you back.
Yes. Yes.
Not the other person.
Not the other person. I gave an example of forgiveness. I preach about forgiveness a lot. And I gave one, and I hope the audience will forgive me for giving it. I said, look at two persons, just got married. The woman goes out and comes back, say about 15 days after, comes back and found her husband and another woman in bed.
No, that's a serious one now,
Yeah. Now, how are we going to handle this?
That a woman saying no forgiveness for that?
No forgiveness. But watch this. The man cries, begs forgiveness. He may not even be sincere, but he asks for forgiveness.
Yes.
And she said, never will I forgive you, never, ever. But he goes to God and asks God to forgive him.
Yes.
And God does. What is going to happen to the person who's badly hurt?
Yes. That's a question for you at break time. Think about that until we come back. We're speaking to the Administrative Bishop of the New Testament Church of God, Reverend Wesley Blair. We're reflecting on forgiveness and other issues which are relevant at this time. We take our break.
Some marina.
I have the package 6,000.
60,000. How much I want?
Yeah, man, 2 bays I want.
Man, no one else. Yeah, man. Same. Alright,
what one, cat?
you don't know, I sit downtown the other day there.
Oh.
All the brethren, them man, we buy and sell marina. One of them I sell a 6-pack for $1,000 and the next one I sell one for $200.
So where buy?
Buy 5 of them for $1,000. Think them can't rob me.
So Uncle Fancy is the same $1,000 you would spend to get the 6? Seriously?
Tell them again now my math brains.
Math count.
Math count.
Sponsored by the Ministry of Education.
It's a time of reflection and meditation, and we have with us the Reverend Wesley Blair. He's the head, the administrative bishop of the very large New Testament Church of God in Jamaica. Reverend Blair, the importance of family is an issue which has come up again because of the social crisis, the killing of our children, the decline in values and attitude. This is a good time, a good period for the country to reflect on family values. How important are family values to the nation?
Without family values, we are not only dying but dead. So that's what keeps the nation going. And you know, we go back to the cross, we can find it. At the moments before Christ died, he said, "Son, behold thy mother."
That's for his mother.
Mother, behold your son.
Ask for
and that is a transferring of a family attitude, reality to someone else. Take care of my mother will take care of you. And I have been a product of family values. And I'm very happy to say it. Almost use the word proud, but that may be misconstrued.
Yes.
I'm very happy to say I'm a product of family values. My parents instilled in us that value for family. Love one another. Is not only for the church world, because you don't have a good church without good families. Love one another, care for one another, and be there for each other. There's one thing my mother told us, though. He says, your value must spread abroad. Remember your neighbor.
Yes.
As you love yourself.
Yes.
And she says also that your neighbor is closer to you than your own family. They're right there. Your family may be in Kingston while you're right there in Somerton where we were born.
Yes.
So be careful how you treat one another. Family values should be exercised and be taught. But today is a sad day.
Yes, yes.
Because those who should be taught are teaching.
What is the role of the church in development at this time? There is a lot of emphasis on economic development and economic growth. But without moral development, economic development is threatened.
Yeah.
What role should the church be playing?
Well, the church should be playing the pivotal role of having the families really enshrined within the church world. It's good to send your child, for instance, a Sunday or Sabbath school, but it's always better
come
with them.
Come with them. Yes,
Yeah,
the
so they can see what you are doing and they'll follow your footsteps. We are in trouble because parents have left the valued treatment of their children, and you would leave children's upbringing to somebody else when the parents are the ones to do that.
That's your responsibility.
So we are far down the ladder, but it can be changed if we can come together and put, you see, family values cannot be extended by way of even seminars. Seminars right in the home.
In the home.
That's where it's supposed to come.
Yes.
Bible said, teach them when they wake in the morning and before they lie down at night.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So you would support the government's thrust toward parent education, support the work of the parents, parenting commission.
Oh, yes.
That kind of thing.
Oh, yes. Yes, I definitely would.
Yes. Education, in which your denomination is also heavily involved, is an important plank in national development.
Yes.
How do you see the church's continued role in that area?
We just have to continue to do the things we have been doing rightly. Wherever the mistakes have come in, we correct it. But the church must be more involved in education. Remember this, that many people are educated but do not love God. And education minus God equals confusion. And one of the reasons why we are in such a confused state, a lot of educated people, but no God in their lives.
Yes.
And I sit here today as a minister of the gospel, have to enhance that. Let people know that without God, we are nothing. It doesn't, I don't put my mouth on the ground to say it.
Yes.
Without God, we are absolutely nothing.
And in this drive against corruption, this drive for integrity, a strong ethical base has to be the foundation of that. Strong emphasis on ethics.
Integrity,
not just running after money.
Integrity is the hallmark by which we are judged. And it is not just a mere thing. It must be exercised. You know, one thing I've done, sir, is whenever I'm going to do something, that may be questionable.
Yes.
I ask myself a couple questions. If Christ were in my place, would he do this? Would he say this? Would he go here? And you know, those very simple questions, I told people I don't preach high-flown messages because I don't preach to giraffes. I preach to people. So my message can be interpreted without a dictionary. We need to be simple in our presentation and very high in our living.
Yes.
Character is the hallmark of any good person.
Yes. And you think that there must be more emphasis on character, not just cash?
No. Cash is not character. Cash.
Character over cash?
Yes, man. Have to have that. But if you have good character, you'll have the cash. You know.
The cash will come.
Yes.
And if you don't have the good character, the cash is always imperiled. You always run the risk of losing that, that cash.
What you have is putting it in bags with holes, as the Bible said. You think you have it, but it's gone.
Yes, yeah.
Character must control your life. And it's not just an afterthought.
Yes, yeah. You remain optimistic about Jamaica, Bishop?
Oh, it's the best place on earth and will ever be.
You still believe in Jamaica?
Oh, my God. I will never give up Jamaica.
And you think we have a bright future?
No, I don't think so. I know so.
You know so.
Yes.
With these positive words, we encourage you to continue to be reflective during this season, Easter season. For some of us in my religious tradition, it's a Passover season. Let us be reflective. Let us recommit ourselves to the values that will advance the nation. Until next week, this is Ian Bourne wishing you a very pleasant day.
Parliament will kick off the sectoral debate this Tuesday, April 7. Practical, pinpointed.
There will be a strict limit on time, so it is 45 minutes.
Tune in to hear different plans and suggestions for the 2015-2016 fiscal year. The following persons will give their presentations to Parliament on Tuesday, April 7 and Wednesday, April 8.
Jamaica's agreement with the International Monetary Fund is increasingly rewarding for the country. This monetary agreement with the IMF is directly linked to how you and I operate or how government resources are made available to us. Next, why it's important to stick with the plan.
Whether school days are in your distant past or you're still in the classroom, everyone knows the value of a passing grade. You pay close attention to absorb the lessons, study even harder to remember the details. Then you do your very best to get a good score. And when the results are in, well, there's nothing like the pride you feel in knowing you aced that test. Yes, a passing grade is vital for individual success, and the same is true for the country. For the last 7 financial quarters since June 2013, Jamaica's economy has received a passing grade from the International Monetary Fund. Excellent endorsement from the powerful multilateral agency, which says the Jamaican economy is improving, doing much better than it has in several years. IMF Managing Director Christine Lagarde said it herself, Jamaica has come a long way.
What you have done personally under the leadership of your Prime Minister is nothing short of astonishing. So well done.
Kudos aside, an IMF pass mark means a whole lot, not just for the government, but for almost every aspect of life.
The IMF provides money for balance of payment support. In other words, the IMF provides money to help the country to pay its bills internationally. But an arrangement with the IMF also provides money from the World Bank, which lends money directly to the government of Jamaica to build schools, to build roads, to build hospitals, as well as money from the Inter-American Development Bank, which is used for policy-based loans. It also paves the way for grants from the European Union, which is used for all kinds of things, poverty reduction, crime fighting, and all of those things. So if you don't pass the IMF test, you don't get those funds.
So there's a direct relationship passing the IMF test.
Yes, and fighting poverty, fighting crime, building schools, all of those things that the people depend on.
Another plus of a passing grade is the signal it sends to investors.
the investments that we need in the private sector to create jobs. What we are seeing is that foreign investors are investing more in Jamaica than domestic investors.
That said, though, positive effects on the overall economy will take time to trickle down to significantly impact the spending power of regular Jamaicans. Analysts tell us there's a good reason for that.
If you're in a deep hole, you'll have to take your time and climb out. So you could have been deeper in the hole weren't it for the policies being pursued by the government.
No questions about it. Government's economic reform program is working, and the administration is adamant that it's sticking with the plan for reasons analysts agree with.
Without the IMF agreement, the country would shut down because you won't get any money from the World Bank, the IDB, the European Union. Investors will be looking elsewhere and not Jamaica.
To my friends at Jamaica, the hard choices have been made. Don't stop now, because you're almost at the finish line. The global community has taken notice, and Jamaica has now gone from a problem credit to one that is now leading the pack. So hats off to the government for ensuring that the easier and softer way was not taken once again. Thank you, Prime Minister. Prime Minister, you should be applauded for your vigilance during these difficult times in positioning Jamaica as a leader. And to the people of Jamaica, your perseverance was the crucial needed element for your government to leapfrog your beloved country from one with troubles to now one with a workable vision.
We shall call him baby Jesus. Oh, we shall call him baby Jesus. Him and me Savior. Him and me Savior. Now this Jesus that everyone talks about, read about, write a whole book about. What is he really about? They say his glory transcends the heaven, which explains his immaculate birth. A miracle walking, breathing on the earth. Kings wanted to annihilate this baby, not yet a man. So he sent 3 wise men out into the land. But the mystery is, there was a plan.
But the mystery is, there was a plan.
But the mystery is, there was a plan.
The mystery is, there was a plan.
The mystery is, there was a plan.
To heal the sick, to provide, to be a protector,
To save the world.
to deliver our souls, to bring joy.
To wash us all of our sins. To give hope. To mend the wounds.
That's why he's called
Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. The Prince of Peace.
There is a phrase which cannot be cliche: don't drink and drive. It cannot be overstated, as one drink could lead to you being 6 feet under. And this is Resurrection Sunday. We're celebrating life. Watch this and stay alive.
It has been 38 years, and I still have pains every day.
From that time until now, I'm still having pains.
Every year, hundreds of Jamaicans like Marlene Walker-Wilson and Eileen Barnes are injured in road crashes caused by drivers under the influence of alcohol. Drivers who may not be drunk, but who have enough alcohol in their system to dull their senses.
As you increase the level of alcohol, it depresses your ability to function. And as far as driving is concerned, the things that we are focusing on mostly, it impairs your judgment. It affects your ability to make decisions, whether you should overtake or not, when you should overtake. It affects your reaction time. If a vehicle is coming at you, it affects your ability to react at a particular time. It affects the time that you take to press the brake, to stop. And it affects your vision. You can't see as well if your alcohol level is too high.
It's for these reasons that Jamaica and other countries have put limits on how much alcohol a driver should have in his or her system.
We in Jamaica now, along with many other countries, are at 0.08 limits. The European countries have reduced it to 0.05, and I think America is going to follow suit. The reason being is that at 0 alcohol levels, your ability to concentrate is 100%. As you increase it by even 0.01, 0.02, every single digit of increase, even at lower levels, increase your risk of being involved in a crash.
So if the legal limit is 0.08, in real terms, how much alcohol are we talking about?
We're talking about one beer, we're talking about a glass of wine, we're talking about one drink of rum. But it depends a lot on your metabolism.
How fast your body uses fuel, how your body deals with alcohol. It also depends on how much food you have in your stomach, how healthy you are, and how tired you are.
There are so many variables, and that's why rather than deal with the technical things, we just say don't drink and drive.
So what about drinking responsibly?
When you drink with your friends at a party and you tell somebody else to drive, so you have a designated driver. That is the essence of responsible drinking. Responsible drinking don't mean that you can drink a small amount and go and drive. It means that if 5 or 6 of you go to a party, one is designated as the driver, and that person does not drink any alcohol whatsoever, and the others can have a good time.
Besides the increased risk of a collision, serious injuries, and even death, there are other reasons drivers should avoid drinking. The long arm of the law.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force has been stepping up its breath testing efforts with a view to reducing the number of persons driving under the influence.
The breath testing process is fairly straightforward.
So the Intoxicator SD5 is the preliminary testing device. It's the first line of contact with the suspect on the road here. This part of it is called the mouthpiece. So what is attached to what is called a sample port of the device. It is to be noted that one mouthpiece is used per subject for sanitation purposes. Instrument is powered on, and the subject blow from this end of the mouthpiece. After the specimen has been subtracted, it's then analyzed and give a reading on the screen here. The limit in Jamaica is 35 microgram per 100 milliliter of breath.
If drivers fail a breath test, they could have points deducted from their license or lose it altogether. In addition, the court may impose hefty fines and hand down a prison sentence.
You have to look at the label, you have to ask questions. The same way that if you're a responsible person and you are going to be driving, you have to be very careful what you're drinking.
And look out for other road users, drivers and pedestrians.
You need to realize that when you put yourself behind a wheel, it's a very dangerous instrument.
After 24 years, I'm still trying to cope with it.
If you have to drink alcohol, don't go behind a steering wheel.
Our last tip on forgiveness for you. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Words from Indian leader Mahatma Gandhi. The information continues to flow on our website, jis.gov.jm. You may also follow us on Twitter at JIS News. Our YouTube channel, Watch JIS, has loads of videos and interviews. We'll be back on your favorite TV station tomorrow. Until then, I'm Theodore Henry. On behalf of the hardworking team here at the JIS, have a wonderful Sunday.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.